Yeah, the energy that is being released. Yes. Good. Yeah. Yeah. So what do you mean when I said if I hadn't been doing good, I would tell you. What do you mean by that? Oh, because it's a past. So that means that you are doing great. Period. This period. This period is better and better every day. Yeah, right now. Even when you're not, you have to make yourself better. It's being aware where your thoughts are, how you want what you can create in this moment. Yeah, constant work. Let's call it constant. Constant fun. That's why we are here. Constant fun. Constant fun. Constant medication all day long, right?
Absolutely.
Seems so meditative. Look at that. That's meditative.
Enough seats. All right, let's get going.
Let's do it.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
How's everybody doing?
Awesome.
Awesome.
I am Kent Boxberger, and this is the Guided Meditations with Kent Boxberger class. This is our maiden voyage. We're starting this out. Hope everybody's doing it right. We are live on Facebook right now, as well as we are here in person. We have a studio audience. They're not getting paid. But we have a great studio. Everybody say hi.
Hi.
All right, awesome. So, what are we going to talk about? We are going to talk about, this show is about an hour. We're going to have about 20 minutes of a guided meditation, because this show is about a guided meditation. And I posted on the link there for everybody to look at on Facebook all the details about this class and what we want to accomplish. Our guided meditation is probably a little bit different than anyone else's, simply because what we want to accomplish is to help people to get into the moment, to relax, to find a way to get down to their inner being, their higher self, in a way that they've never done before, in a way you've never done before. And to do this, we will accomplish three things when we do this, okay? Number one, when you do it properly, it improves your physical health in your body tremendously, because your cells are all communicating. They have a less amount of resistance. You're letting go of resistance. You're letting go of things in your body that are keeping your healthy body from being healthy in that moment. Is very powerful, and your 350 trillion cells in your body respond. Okay? So during meditation, when it's done properly, when we go deep enough, when we do it properly, that's what happens. That's the first thing that happens. So it gives your immune system a boost, a charge, even though you may not feel it in the moment. Some do and some don't. But in the hours and even days after this, your body is remembering how that feels, and you'll remember that, and it'll help. So health is the number one too. The second thing is our guided meditations will help you receive messages from Spirit. And we're talking about information for you. Now, we're not going into this with the intention to get those messages, keep in mind. But as a byproduct of proper guided meditation, when you release enough resistance, then that information has a crack to come in to your consciousness. And so when that happens, when we say receive messages from Spirit, we're talking about information from, if you believe in angels, that kind of thing, higher forms of non-physical consciousness. You might call them angels, you might call them ascended masters, source, God, all the above, okay? Even your spiritual guides. The topic for tonight for us, by the way, while I'm on that, is meeting your spiritual guides. Do you have a message for me? That's our topic for this week's class. So the third thing that this meditation will do, okay, is to allow a greater sense of deliberate manifestation in your life. In other words, when we release resistance on a certain level, through the law of attraction, we're able to manifest things much easier and much quicker. Even though you say, well, I'm just meditating for a few minutes or whatever, you see, in quantum physics doesn't recognize time, so to speak. Time. It only recognizes energy, and energy has no boundaries. So when we're in a meditative state, okay, what happens is the universe remembers that state, and you remember that state. And so in a proper meditation, when we say you're able to manifest quicker, deliberately manifest quicker, when you let go of resistance properly and deep enough, it speeds up the manifestation process, because all the things that are in what Abraham calls your vortex and what we call your soul template has an ability to really manifest fully in a quicker way. Even if it's 15 or 20 minutes a day, or as many times as you can, and the time is not really important. It's how deep of a state of dropping the resistance is. And the longer you drop that resistance, the more your inner being has to allow those things to physically manifest in the body and in your environment. It also opens up your aura, what I call your invisible soul matrix. It opens up your aura. We have this aura around us. It's an energy field, 8 feet on either side of us, 16 feet across, 16 feet up and down, 16 feet behind us. It's that big. And most people don't know that our aura is that big. That's why you sometimes feel really uncomfortable when you're close to somebody, like in an elevator or something. You're in each other's energy fields, and you're picking up all their energy, what you might call the good and the bad, all the above. So what we want to do is we want to start this guided meditation, and then at the end we're going to keep this to about 20 minutes each week, and then at the end we're going to have a question and answer, so that you can ask any questions that you have, anything that you got during the meditation, anything that came to you, any messages you might have gotten. You may not be able to make out everything, because you might get it later, tonight or tomorrow, in a few days. You may get that information. But if you do have questions, we'll have a Q&A. And the question answer afterwards can be about anything. So give us a chance to talk a little bit about that. And so that's the purpose of our guided meditation class each week. We'll be in person like this. We started in-person meetings up again now. And we'll also be doing this online for people at home. Here in a minute can get into the guided meditation with us. You're welcome to come with us. Sitting in the confines of your home or in your car or wherever you're at. That's the beauty of this, is you can do it anywhere. You can jump in and the energy will be transformed. Although, being here in person, the energy in this room can't be matched. But you'll feel it. You'll feel it at home. The only thing you won't be able to do for people online is to participate in the Q&A. Not yet. Maybe in the following weeks, I may take some questions online as well, and that way the group can experience those as well while you're here. To my knowledge, nobody in the world is doing what we're doing here with a guided meditation program that I know of. So I think we're all part of a brand new virgin experience, and I really, really like that. The picture may be a little dark here on Facebook. I've got the lights turned down. Maybe next week we'll bring it up a little bit and jockey this around a little bit. but we're playing with it to see what works the best, and we're learning as we go. So, are you ready? Are you ready? I have to get a drink of water. Okay, so get really comfortable in your chair. Find a comfortable place. Relax. This is a time to relax. We just want you to let go and relax. You know, in today's world, our hectic schedules, our hectic lives, we don't have a chance to relax as much as we want to because we're always worrying. We're planning. So just find an easy place, whatever fits you in the most relaxing place. Find a way to just close your eyes and let go. And what we want to do is we want to highlight for you just how important our breath is, our breathing is. And we want to highlight to you that the breath is the superhighway. Listen closely. The breath is the superhighway to the supernatural. It is your ticket to go to where you want to go, anywhere you want to go. Is through the breath. The breath brings life. The oxygen oxygenates the brain. It activates the pineal gland fully. It brings in dimensional awareness that we don't normally have. That's why we can dream at night, because we let go at such a deep state. So we want to begin by breathing, and we want to do this properly. So take a deep breath from the bottom of your lungs all the way through, and breathe through your nose. Hold it for just a moment, and then let it out through the mouth, very slowly. Pause for a moment. Take another deep breath through the nose, and let it out through the mouth. Very easily, very naturally. Take another deep breath, and while you're breathing in, visualize breathing in life force. Life force into your body. Breathe in and breathe out. Feel how good that feels throughout your body. Breathe in the life force and breathe out. Now breathe in the life force, a clear, crystal clean life force. And breathe out debris. Breathe in, clear, crystal life force. And breathe out all debris. Breathe in, life force. And breathe out debris. This time when you breathe in, visualize your breath filling up all of your cells from your head to your toes with powerful, clean life force. And breathing out all debris, everything you deem to be unwanted within your body. Every cell. Breathe in and breathe out. Let it go. You're feeling very, very good now. Breathe in, life force, and breathe out all debris. This next breath, we want you to take a deeper than normal, exaggerated, deep, cleansing breath all the way to your toes. Hold it for a moment, and then blow it out. That's good. feeling relaxed, feeling free. On this breath, we want you to take it in, and we want you to allow this cleansing breath to find anything in your body. Go to anything in your body that is in pain or is hurting or might be diseased or out of whack in any way, shape, or form, any problems you have. Breathe the life force right into that area, filling it up with cleansing, well-being, and renewal. And blow out any debris, anything unwanted. Breathe in and breathe out. You're feeling very relaxed, very free. Now, we want you to visualize in your mind's eye for just a moment you standing on the tip top of a very, very large mountain. The tallest mountain you've ever seen. Perhaps it's in Switzerland or Sweden, somewhere like that. And you're standing at the top of this mountain and you're peering out over the rest of the mountainscapes. It's beautiful. The sky is blue, the sun is shining, the clouds are even below you. That's how high you are. You can see them passing by. Breathe in and breathe out. And you're peering across the mountain range on top of the world. You're standing at the top of this mountain. And it feels wonderful. You feel powerful. You can see everything from this mountain. Perhaps you see some snow-capped mountains around you. A large valley in front of you. But you're so high up, you can't even see what's down there. Breathe in and breathe out. You feel totally free and at peace, top of the mountain, on top of the world. And as you peer out over these mountains, you look down at your feet standing on the mountain, and you decide to take a step off the mountain because you want to fly. It's time to fly. Raise your arms out metaphorically to your side and take off. We want you to fly. Take off over the meadows, out across the mountains. You're flying with ease. You can feel the wind in your face. You can smell the cleanliness of the air, the power. And as you're flying over the mountains, you notice that you've transformed yourself into some type of a bird. As you look down, your arms now, they've become wings, and you're flying. You've become a bird of some kind. Make a note of the kind of bird that you are as you are gliding over the mountaintops and over the meadows, high up amongst the clouds even. You're gliding with freedom and power. And as you're flying, you look down below, and you notice there's an open meadow below you, and it's inviting you to come down towards it. And you can see the greenery, the valley, the trees below. And as you head down below, as you're flying below, you want to land. You see a place that you want to land, and as you're descending very quickly now, you notice there's a large pyramid in the middle of this open field, in the middle of an open forest, a meadow, a beautiful meadow, a large pyramid. And in front of the pyramid, there's an altar. It's like a stage, small stage in front of the pyramid. So you decide to land right in front of this altar, this small stage in front of this large, huge, even golden pyramid. And as you land, and as you stand in front of the altar, we'll call it the spiritual altar of knowing. you notice there's a large door that enters into the pyramid in front of you. And as you're looking at this large pyramid and this altar in front of you, and there's a door leading into the pyramid, as you stand there, you can feel the anticipation of what's behind this door in this pyramid. And you feel eager to know what's behind this door. And as you stand there, take a deep breath and let it out. Take another deep breath and let it out again. As you take your third deep breath, the door slowly begins to open. Let that breath out. And what's coming towards you, you notice there's a figure that's walking towards you. And as it's making its way to you, you notice it's wearing a white robe. And as they're walking towards you across the altar, it's getting closer and closer. You start to notice that this feels familiar. It feels very familiar, and it feels very good. It feels very loving. And you feel, you know you're connected to whoever this is or whatever this is wearing a white robe. And as they get closer and closer, you start to notice the outline of their face and their body. And they're getting closer now and closer, and the feeling of them is getting more intense. It's getting more and more connected. And as they get about 4 to 5 feet from you, you can feel the powerful energy that you have with them. You may or may not be able to see their face or the expression on their face or what kind of a face it might even be. You may or may not. But now we want you to hold out your arms, both hands, palms up. And if you're sitting in your seats now, we want you to physically do this. Hold your hands out. Hold your arms out. Palms up, and invite this person, this being, to put their hands into yours at this time. And as they do, you feel their energy. You're connected. You feel the power and the love. And as you feel their hands in your hands, both of your arms outstretched, connecting, look into their eyes. And as you look into their eyes, you will feel the power of the connection. You know them, and they know you. Doesn't matter if you have a name, you may or may not have a name, it's irrelevant. Feel the connection, the benevolence, the love. And as you feel it, ask them this question. Do you have a message for me at this time? You may hear the message. You may see the message. You may see an object representing the message. You may see the message written on a piece of paper. It may be a word. It may be a sentence or several sentences. Do you have a message for me at this time? Pause for a minute and listen and feel. Take a deep breath. And let it out. Breathe in and breathe out. Now look them in the eyes. Thank them for this meeting. Thank them for the love they've shared, and thank them for this sacred and powerful connection on this day. This connection with this person or this being is your lead spiritual guide. They've been with you even before you were born. They've been with you for eons of time, and they know you. You've agreed before this lifetime to be together and for them to lead you. They're not your only spiritual guide, but they are your lead spiritual guide. Again, a name is irrelevant. You may or may not have one, or you may get one later. For now, the importance is the connection. Thank them for their love and their connection. Tell them that they are welcome to speak with you at all times, any times, that you welcome their connection, you welcome their information, you welcome them. And that you will be open and listening for their guidance at all times. Tell them that you will connect again, and you look forward to that time. Tell them goodbye, and that you will see them soon. Let go of their hands. Bow to them in honor and respect as they are doing to you. And turn around and walk away from the altar as they turn and walk away from you back into the door of the pyramid. You now will begin walking away from the pyramid through the grass towards a tree-lined meadow, a forest with a path. And as you are walking on this path, contemplating what just occurred in gratitude and appreciation and thankfulness, as you're walking through the forest on this path, up ahead, you notice that there's an opening and there's a river. And by the river, there's a bench. Walk over to the bench and sit down by the river. And as you peer out into the river, it's a slow-moving, calm, peaceful river. As you're sitting on the bench, you close your eyes. And you feel all of you while on the bench with your eyes closed. Take a deep breath and let it out. Breathe in again and breathe out. One more breath. Breathe in and let it out. And we're going to leave you to sit here for just a moment to let go with no resistance, no thoughts, in complete neutrality. Now we would like you to open your eyes. Open your eyes. Come back into your body. Shake out your hands. Wiggle your toes. Even rub your arms. Feel you back in your body. Bring your consciousness back in. Okay? Get your wits about you. Come back to planet Earth. All right. How's everybody?
Awesome.
Yeah, good. How's everybody online? You with us? Good. All right, so now what we're going to do is have a little discussion. We're going to have a little question and answer while you're getting back into your body, your consciousness is getting back. Did it take you down deep enough? Yeah? Good, good. It's a start. It's a start. These meditations, as we do them, as you do them consistently, your energy and your frequency raises higher and higher. Your vibration will raise higher and higher and higher. And so your communication capabilities with those on the other side, and not only are we talking about spirit guides, we're talking about people that have passed on and are on the other side too, that are wanting to connect with us on a regular basis. And I want to throw a little bit of astrology in here for just a minute. You know, the reason I'm having this class now, and I've never done it before, is because the energy we're in on planet Earth, the Uranus and Taurus energy we're in that just started May 15th until set for the next 7 years, is bringing in that Uranian energy for us to be able to connect with the non-physical at a level we've never been able to do before. We're in uncharted territories, the human race, as a whole, as a collective. So you get the opportunity to do that. And I feel, and this class is about that, is the most powerful thing we can do for ourselves in these hectic times that we're in, guys, and it's going to get more hectic. The world is going to get more shaken and stirred. Okay? Politics are going to become more chaotic than they've been. Okay? We're going to see more earth stuff happening. Uranus and Taurus is about earthquakes and volcanoes and hurricanes and weather anomalies like we can't believe. In the midst of all that, the most important thing I could think of to share with my human family is the power of meditation. The power of being able to go inside and to learn to raise our vibration, raise our ability to really be able to keep our center, regardless of the hurricane that's out here, regardless of the volcano, okay, that's going on, regardless of the politics that are occurring. There's a seat up here if you want to think. Regardless of where things are at in our life, maybe the hurricane that's going on in our personal life, regardless of all that. So we just want to highly recommend that meditation as many times a day as you can. You know, you don't have to close your eyes to meditate. You know, I meditate 100 times a day because I take moments where I get back at my center and I clear my field and I stop all thought in that moment. All thought that I know of consciously. Because that's what drops resistance. And that's what we're after, guys. Because when we drop resistance, we let this large flow of well-being enter our life. And that large flow of well-being is not just about our health. It's about all of our manifestations that we dream of. It's about all the money we want. It's about all the love that we want, relationships. It's about our family relationships. It's about everything that we've wanted in our life has an ability now to suddenly come in and bring into physical form. So even though you may be meditating for a few minutes or 15 or 20 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever, is irrelevant because the energy stays with us and it acts for hours and days and weeks after the meditation. Okay? So don't discount. This is something a lot of people discount. They really don't understand the power of what happens after your meditation. The time you spent in meditation never goes away. It stays locked in the law of attraction. It stays locked into the field of all that is, you see, and it's working in your behalf. And it has a cumulative effect, okay? Continues to benefit us over and over. So I'd like to take some questions now. So for you people online that are watching, we're going to take a few questions. Anything you want to talk about, this is an opportunity to really maybe share some things that you got in your meditation, maybe you want some clarity on, or definitions or whatever. Okay, Jeff?
This is small, but when you told us to walk up.
Speak up just a little bit.
When you told us to walk up to the pyramid and the door opened.
Yes.
And a figure walked out.
Yes.
I knew 2 sentences before you said it that there were flowing white robes. I saw them blowing in the wind to the left. I saw them as this person was walking towards me, and I knew they had white robes before you even said it. I just wanted to note that.
Yes.
It was interesting.
So you were there. Yeah, you were there.
I noticed. I had the same thing happen.
And Dave did too.
Yeah.
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 You did too, because I heard him.
And Andrew, yeah.
And I knew
So-
Andrew saw the same thing.
Yeah. So for you folks online, what he said was he saw the white robes before I actually said anything about it in the meditation. So the interesting thing about guided meditations, when you are truly in a different dimensional phase and you're out of your body, your pineal gland's wide open, and you're able to discern different higher levels of consciousness, you're able to transcend time and distance. So you're able to actually see the future, so to speak, before it happens. You're able to talk about and see and experience future events. It's kind of like in a dream at night, when you have a dream about future events and then it plays out the next day or two, and you had it during the dream. It's because when you're in higher states of consciousness, you're able to access the field of all that is, the energetic field that exists, and the predictive probabilities of events before they happen more clearly and more easily. And if you're yawning at home, or if you're yawning here in class, if you feel that urge to yawn, what that is your personal, now 3 or 4 of you are starting to yawn. What happens is that's your personal energy field from your higher self, raising your frequency up to higher and higher levels, into higher and higher dimensions. And when you yawn, what you're doing, you're releasing physicality within yourself. You're literally coming out of your body, so to speak, even more while you yawn. And that's a way of us releasing that resistance. Remember, the breath, breathing is the superhighway to the supernatural. I was given that statement about 2 weeks ago from Spirit directly to share with everyone. Breathing is your superhighway to the supernatural. Okay? So through the breath is how we access higher levels of consciousness. That's why all the gurus that you've ever heard of, all the masters, and even the unconscious channels, the channels that you know, the Abrahams, the Bashar, the Pleiadians, the Cryons, all talk about how important breathing is. Because as a human, the life force comes through the breath. So anytime you want to, and you know how all the experts say, if you're nervous, take a deep breath and it releases, stress. Well, it does more than that. Way more than that. So if you can get into a habit throughout your days of, whenever you think about it, of taking more deep breaths and being consciously aware of taking those breaths, just remember, it's the superhighway to the supernatural. Anytime you want to get some information, you're trying to make a decision, or you need to get some clarity on something, take a couple, 2 or 3 really deep cleansing breaths, maybe close your eyes, get into that state of centeredness, and allow you to drop that resistance, and that well-being flow will immediately come into play for you. It clears your field. It gets you out of your head. And what we did tonight, and what we do in guided meditations, is we want to get you out of your head and into your heart. In other words, take the energy from up here, the thinking capacities, neutralize them. Abraham talks about this, neutralizing our energy, and allowing that to go into our heart. In other words, into our soul, into our inner being. We want our inner being to speak to us and not our brain. And that's dropping resistance. And that's where all the action occurs. That's where all the power is. That's where all your manifesting capabilities are generated from. And that's where all the health of your body is generated from. Everyone has health issues of some kind. Something going on from time to time. It's ebb and flow. But you drastically speed up your well-being, your health in your body through your cells. When you learn to breathe and you learn to let go and let that happen. That's why at night when you sleep, your immune system repairs things in your body because you have no resistance while you're sleeping. You're out of your brain. You're out of your head. You're sleeping and your body takes over. Your immune system is programmed. You were created with a genius body. 350 trillion cells that all have, each one has their own brain that knows what it's doing. And all we got to do is get out of the way and let it work. And we just can't. It's hard to trust that, especially when you're sick. Because we want to do this and do that to fix it. And we forget that the body is the thing that heals itself first and foremost. So, any more questions? Take some more. Dave.
I noticed that when I opened up my hands and my guide touched my hands, I could feel that energy right away. It was like a rush, went up my arms, up into my head, and here in my chest, and then it just stopped. And
yeah.
I didn't feel it continue through my body.
Yeah, a little fear takes over, because you recognized, you're not used to that energy.
It felt great.
What he's saying, for people online, what he's saying is when he felt the energy of the guide touch him, he felt the energy shoot up his arms and into his head, but then it kind of stopped. It didn't go through the rest of his body. And the reason it doesn't is, you see, this was your first encounter, actually, consciously, with your lead spiritual guide. I mean, the real one. The real one. Not just a figment of your imagination. This was real. And to access that energy, obviously, you were ready for that. Even if you don't think you really connected strongly, or some people may think, well, I really didn't get much, but I could kind of feel something. That's okay, because it will get stronger and stronger as you get vibrationally higher and higher as time goes on. It'll become more clear and more clear and more clear. And it'll be just like us all here together, and you see me and I see you. It will be that real to you at some point where you won't be able to tell the difference hardly between whether they're actually sitting in front of you physically or not. And so, Dave, what I want to say, and this is for everybody, is whenever that happens is there's a fear that takes over because you're not used to that energy. So there's a little bit of fear, and that fear kind of blocks the rest of it from moving because it's kind of a new thing. It's like, oh, I don't know about this, because you kind of became aware that you were aware of the being, of that being, that partner. Okay? That's all it is. So what we want to do, that's why we breathe so much. You keep breathing throughout your meditations. You keep breathing because the more you breathe, again, it's your superhighway to the supernatural. Okay? So, Brenda, your question.
Yes. So, what we did tonight, you said was an introduction. It was a beginning. And I'm wondering, so between now and when we reconvene, is there something that would help us?
Yeah, absolutely. So tonight, for those of you that participated, you took your energy, whether you know this or not, to a place you've never taken it before. It's brand new. Now, I know all of you meditate, and you've been meditating for years. But in this exercise, in this energy, tonight, you haven't been there. And that energy that you experienced, that guide, has always been in your field, but consciously you haven't connected with it like you did tonight. And you're going to feel their presence. How many people got a name? Did anybody get a name of any kind? Yeah, a couple people got a name. I would put that name in your phone, okay, so you don't forget it, or somewhere, write it down. Does anybody want to share what their name is? No, nobody wants to share. Well, I will share mine, because the first time I did this, I got this name and I had no idea what it meant. And I don't know if you've probably never heard this name before, but the name of my lead spiritual guide is Lucan, L-U-K-K-E-N, Lucan. So it was spelled, it was very clear, and my lead guide, the picture I had, and I don't know what picture you got. How many people saw the face, the clear face? About half of you. So you couldn't see the face yet, right? So see, there's a fear there yet within you that needs to be worked on vibrationally over time that will be able to allow you to let that face come in. It's not important now. And there's nothing wrong with not getting the face yet. What's important is the connection. So at some point you will get that face. You'll probably get a name somewhere down the road. It may come in an inconspicuous time. It may come in a dream at night. It may come any time. But did you get a picture of an outline? How many people felt a male presence? One, two, yeah, just a couple. How many people felt a female presence? Female energy. Yeah, a few more people felt more of a female presence. Isn't that interesting? Now, spirit is neither. Okay? It's neutral. It's both, actually, male and female. But whatever you felt was significant for you, because that means that you have a connection to that energy in this lifetime for a reason. You have to think about that a little bit. Now, the female energy, or the masculine energy, the male energy, is a little more assertive, you might say. It's the outward energy that we have on the planet. And the inward, the receiving energy, is female energy, okay? The feminine. So it's a giving and receiving, okay? It's kind of like donations on this show. It's giving and receiving. What you put out is what you get back. It's the law of attraction. So if you were feeling male energy, that means that perhaps you are more connected with more of an assertive way, or are working on more assertive things this lifetime than receiving things. Perhaps in the other way, the vice versa. If you had a female energy, perhaps you're working on or becoming around or being around more things about letting things in, about being able to receive. You know, receiving money, receiving kindness, receiving compliments. You know, how many people, when people say something nice to you, say, oh, you don't have to say that. That's not receiving. You see, we have to receive in order to give. We have to give in order to receive. It's very balanced. So think about how that male-female thing was with you, and what you might get from that, the message there for yourself. So, did anybody get any length of hair or outlines? Yeah, Andrew?
Yeah, I did.
What'd you get? Like, what did it look like?
She was blonde.
Blonde.
Yeah.
Okay.
The eyes were like a green blue.
Okay.
Like, you know, lips were full. I described the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was amazing.
Yes.
Very nurturing.
Yeah.
Presence.
All that has meaning for you in your connection with them, but also in your energy and how you portray yourself, either as something you can vibrate higher, or to share with people, and probably both. The color of the hair, anybody else? Any other colors? Jeff?
I got long, black, straight hair,
Okay.
kind of flowing off to one side.
Okay.
Like
Black?
with the robes that
Long.
were all blowing in the wind.
Okay. All these have meaning to you. So remember, you might want to take some notes when you leave, when you're done tonight. Take some notes, either because you're going to forget some things. These things have significance for you, okay? Did you notice the height? How tall they might have been? Did they come across as a average person, or a tall person, or a very short person? Anybody get anything on that? Yeah. Again, it has significance. Color of the eyes, outline of the face. Was there a specific energy that you could name that you felt? For instance, powerful, nurturing, loving, warmth. Yeah, good. That's good. Loving. You know, any kind of those adjectives, you know, did you get? Because if you did, those are things that you want to make note of as well. When I first met mine, this was a Native American looking person, but he wasn't all Native American. He was Native American, long, black, thick, Leo-type hair, right? Leos always have a lot of hair, you know. They have the mane, okay? And the two Leos in the house are all both bald. Go figure. It's either all or none, right? So, but they had this big, I felt the Leo energy, the big mane, black, beautiful, flowing, thick hair, you know, and it was a male energy. But it was a very male energy with a very soft, powerful, feminine energy, if you know what I mean. Very balanced. And his face was beautiful, tanned, powerful, had that look, you know, that Native American look of wisdom and focus. But he was also had this feeling of, this look of South American to him, and Scandinavian, believe it or not. Almost like the Nordic feel. He has a big, powerful body. Powerful, you know, kind of like like a Viking. Yeah, they had that energy. Those were the 4 things actually that I sensed. So when I got done, when this happened, I went and looked up the name. And I did research on it. And I found out, I didn't even know if it was a real name. Because I know there's Luke, L-U-K-E. And in the Bible, Luke was the physician, right? Jesus, one of Jesus' apostles. But it was Lucan, L-U-K-K-E-N. So I thought, wow, that's different. So when I looked it up, the meaning of the word means light. Lucan means light in all cultures. The light bearer. And go figure. Go figure, right? So I was very happy with that. So it really made sense. And ever since I got that, I've got this relationship with Lucan that I call on him all the time. I can connect with him whenever I'm doing something. I can ask a question. He's always there. And the key is to listen, to learn to listen. This takes some time. It takes a little time to be able to listen and to be able to really hear it loudly. You know, now I can hear loudly. When I started, I could barely hear, and I wasn't sure if that was my brain, my thoughts, or if it was really something else. But I learned through listening and then seeing things happen that he told me that it wasn't me, because I didn't know those things. I mean, he gave me several things over a period of time when I would ask him about certain things, of things to come, like 4 or 5 days in advance. And I would write them down, and they would happen. So I knew I built my confidence, you might say, in, you know, relying that information that I'm getting from him particularly is accurate. And that voice gets stronger and stronger. That energy gets stronger and stronger. It's a great thing. It's a partnership. It's a connection that won't go away. And they are with you 24/7. They never leave. That's why when Cryon talks about, and even Abraham talks about this, that we're never alone. Even though you may be completely alone in your life and there's nobody at your side, perhaps, or you feel that way. You're never alone. Cryon calls it an entourage. There's an entourage of non-physical that are always there for you. And the question is, are we letting them in? Getting used to that. And it takes time. We're not used to that. Folks, you can be alone and be in a crowd of people. You know that. So remember that, because as a light bearer, as a advanced being, you might say, as an old soul, as Cryon calls us, somebody who's very, very spiritually, vibrationally advanced, like you, in a world like it is, you know, there's not a lot of people marching to your drummer out here, okay, compared to the rest of the world. So it's very special to get together. Okay, more questions? Yes, Phil. Or Matt, I'm sorry.
Any tips on tapping into those messages, making them clear, make sure you're understanding it accurate, or is it just through practice and getting into that state as often as possible?
The best thing we can recommend is regular meditation properly, which means clearing your mind. Now, you can't clear your mind very easily because you're always thinking something you're thinking something you're not thinking, you're still thinking. So what the masters recommend is that you focus on one thing. Like we focused on our breathing when we did our meditation tonight, breathing in and breathing out, and I was guiding you with that. So you weren't thinking about your rent tomorrow. You weren't thinking about the pain in your left toe. You weren't thinking about what you're going to have for dinner tomorrow morning or breakfast tomorrow morning. You weren't thinking about what happened 10 years ago to you that was really painful. You weren't thinking about any of those things. You were in the moment, breathing, and focused on that one thing. And when we do that, the resistance goes away, you see. And it takes you to a deeper state of consciousness. And when you do that, you allow the allowing piece of this. You allow the well-being. You allow the streams of higher consciousness to affect you. So what happens is you're able to hear, perhaps, and see, perhaps, and feel, perhaps, with higher sensitivity, okay? Because your vibration's higher, your frequency's higher. And what you learn to do is when you feel that energy, you don't forget it, and it gets stronger. So in the early times with meditation, don't try to meditate to get the images or to get the messages, perhaps, initially, until you learn to just breathe and relax and get out of your head first. Do that a few times, and you'll get some information, okay? But when you try to sit down and get some information and you have, I got to get the answer to this question now, we're in an energy of the opposite of allowing. Abraham talks extensively about this. You can ask a question. If you want to get an answer, before you go into meditation, listen to this closely in this sequence. And if you do it this way, it will allow it to happen. You can ask a question before you go into a meditation. But once you do, you've got to make a point to clear your mind of it and get rid of it. And the way you do that is you start breathing and you start letting go. And you start focusing on something else, like your heart while you breathe, or your leg while you breathe, or the chair you're sitting in while you breathe. Or, for instance, Esther Hicks concentrates on the airflow that she hears in the room, perhaps, the air conditioner or heater. Something that's neutral. And then, when you do start to hear or see or feel the messages, you just let them flow. See, you let them flow. You don't try to make any sense out of them. Don't try to figure them out. Oh, is this right or wrong? Just let them flow. In fact, the less sense they make, the better. Okay? Because when you come out of meditation, you're going to remember it. Okay? You're going to remember. So I recommend immediately always having a pencil and paper near to you, if you can, or having your phone ready so you can start putting things down that you remembered. Like when I had Lucan's name, the minute I come out of meditation, I got my phone out and I put that name in there and I spelled it because I did not want to forget that. Okay, and I put some other things on there, right away, or write them down so you can process them. So to answer your full question, the way you can really start to feel confident in that is you've got to test yourself. You've got to say, okay, here's my question. And once you get an answer, whatever that answer is, and it may be long, or it may be a word, it may be short, it may be shown to you in an object. Okay? I learned something a long time ago that helps me a lot. Is ask your guide or ask your non-physical consciousness to write down the answer on a piece of paper, okay, in your mind, and hand it to you. A lot of people can really get the answer. It helped me a lot in the beginning because I could just see it in my mind right there. I saw him writing it actually many times. I was like, holy shit. I see it. There's a sentence. Go do this, blah, blah, blah. In 4 days, this will happen. Okay, there it is. Where before I was listening, I wasn't hearing anything, for instance. So you can ask, and we're going to do this in this class is we're going to practice that each week. And I've got different meditations already set up. I've got at least a dozen of them that we're going to do differently every week for different subjects to access different things and different states of consciousness. Okay. So, yes, Jeff.
So to practice, would you suggest we go back to Facebook and redo this at home?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Practice. You can't meditate too much. Oh, I got a question on Facebook. Can you explain that we are in a time that is opposite of allowing? Yes. I wasn't going to do any online questions, but this is good. I see it, okay? Lori, the opposite of allowing is when you don't feel good about something. It's pretty simple. It seems too simple, actually. But you know when you feel resistance. In other words, you're not feeling very good about something. And this is just a thought. If you feel like, oh, I don't feel good right now, that's opposing allowing. Or if you feel fearful about anything, or scared, or if you feel sad about anything, or you feel angry about anything. Because what's fear the opposite of? Love. What's the opposite of allowing? Resisting. Okay? So if we're resisting something, that means we have controversy in our energy field. That means we're fighting about something internally, even a little bit. And we're used to that. We're worrying. Worrying's the big one, guys. Worrying. It's our arch enemy of all enemies. Okay, I'm worried about this. I'm worried about, this pain in my gut. I'm worried about, I'm worried about the car I'm driving. I'm worried about, and we have habits, guys, of worrying about a long list of things in a matter of seconds. Okay, bang, bang, bang. It's like a machine gun. Da 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 da. I'm worried about this. What about that? Where am I going to go? I'm hungry. I got to go eat. I don't have enough money. I got to, boo, boo. Okay. We started a few minutes late. That's why I'm just about ready to to bring it to a close. Hope that answered your question. Yes, Jeff.
You talked about, Lucan, do you find now that you've meditated and you have these conversations that when you're even outside of meditation, that you're having conversations like they're just right next to you and you're talking, or is it always in a meditative state?
In the beginning, it was just in a meditative state, and it took me about a week. That was just me. Everybody's different. To start using this person as a friend that was with me all the time. It's like your inner being, and they really are an aspect of our inner being. Their consciousness is really, you might call it a family member of your inner being, that energy. So it is actually your inner being speaking to you through your guides, or through your ascended masters, or through your angels, you call them, or through source energy, which is all that is. But to simplify it so we can categorically get it into our brain, Lucan, for me, is my number one lead authority spiritual guide. Now, he doesn't cover everybody, because I have a group of doctors, for instance, physicians on the other side. Remember I told you I worked with John of God back years ago in person, worked with him for 4 days here in Atlanta, next to him. I had a whole bunch of spiritual doctors come in and start working with me. I didn't get it then. It took me a few years after that to really start to get it, for them to actually come in to a stronger place to be used, and for me to rely on them. But they were there, and that's when they really came in. So the answer, Jeff, is I talk to Lucan all the time, just like I'm talking to you. And whenever he pops into my head, or I think I'm getting ready to make a decision or something, I'll stop for a minute and I'll say, okay, I'll picture him and I'll see him, and there he is. I got his energy. Boom. Because I'm very, very visual, so I see the people in my head. I see them, just like you and I are sitting here. It's almost like somebody turns on a movie theater. And over the years, and people on the other side, I have lots of contact with people on the other side. They just pop in like they're right here. Like today, I was jogging through the park, and my grandmother, out of the clear blue, my most beloved family member, other than my immediate family, popped in, and it was so intense I had to stop running and sit down on a bench by the lake. I could not keep running because her image of her face, because she had something to tell me that was so important today that I had to hear, that I had to stop running, I swear, and sit down and listen. And I was there 20 minutes having a conversation with my grandmother on the other side. Okay? And that information I shared with a couple other people, okay, later, because she told me to call them. And it was so spot on, I couldn't have made it up. And the other person on the other side, the first person I called, was in tears because there's no way I could have known what I told them. Okay? That's how you validate that it's real. Like Luke had told me something was going to happen 4 days ahead, specifically about my own health. I'll just share it with you. That needed adjustment, that I was looking for an answer for. It's the first time I got Lucan. My main question was, like you asked, do you have a message for me? I went to my main guide and I said, do you have a message for me? But I was thinking about, I wonder if I'm going to get something about this little health issue I'm dealing with. I didn't ask him about the health issue. I just had it in my head. Well, guess what the answer was? Guess what the message was? The most important message I could have got is in 4 days the health issue was going to be completely gone and you're not going to have to do anything. It's going to take care of itself. Even though you've been trying to do something about this for a while now, it wasn't serious or anything. It was just something that pissed me off. And I was thinking in my head once I got the message, okay. And he said, just let go and let it happen. And I said, okay, is that all I got to do? And he said, yeah. He said, it's going to be like instant, and it's going to be like you're not going to believe that you didn't have to do anything. Just that's what you got to do. Just let go. That's all you got to do. Just keep doing what you're doing. 4 days. Okay, I got this meditation. I'll never forget it. It was in a park by myself on a Monday. And on Friday, it was gone. I woke up, it was gone. Never to return. I said, holy shit. This message to me was not me. I mean, it was, but it was Lucan. And that proved to me. You see, our whole life is built around what we believe. Our set of beliefs. What we believe happens. What we don't believe doesn't happen. And so if we believe that we're poor, we will be poor. If we believe that we're rich, we will be rich. If we believe that we're healthy, we will be healthy. We don't have to figure out, as Abraham says, how that's going to happen. That's where we get into trouble. Because us humans want to figure it all out. And Spirit says, that is not your job.
So when your mind starts taking you in the opposite direction, how do you get refocused back in on?
Get out of my head. Get out of my head. Get out of your head. Get out of your head. How do you do that? You start breathing. And you get into your heart. A lot of times I just visualize my heart and I go, I got to get out of my head into my heart. I got to feel. I got to feel. I'm a Libra sun with a Gemini moon and a Leo rising. I'm a double air. So I'm a head person. Have always been that way. Okay? I've been an overthinker all my life until the last few years when I learned how to bring that energy down into the heart center and the chakra, the solar plexus area, and ground it. As a Libra, or Gemini, or an Aquarius, you are a head case. We're head cases, which means that we overthink everything. Or if you have a moon or a rising in those air signs, even more so, we have to learn to breathe and ground, okay? Because the energy will not balance, okay? You know, we drive yourself crazy, especially trying to sleep at night, okay? So what you do, Jeff, is you learn to let go of too much thinking. And it's not easy, okay? It takes practice. That's where the meditation every day comes in for a while. That's where you're driving down the highway and you're thinking about how to figure out your whole life about whatever's going on. You stop in that moment and say, I got to stop this. I got to get out of my head. I got to relax and I got to drop the resistance and let the well-being flow. See, there's not a source of evil. Now, this is going to shake everybody up here, okay? As Abraham and all the masters have said, even Jesus, there's not a source of evil in the universe. There's only one source of energy that exists, only one. And that's the source of well-being. One source. That's why they call it source. That's what God is. And everything else is a squeezing off or expanding of that one energy. That's all it is. It's like an accordion. And so when we're resisting through our thoughts, what we're doing is we're squeezing off the flow of well-being, which means information, which means messages, which means clarity, which means thoughts that we want to have that serve us instead of thoughts that don't serve us, all that stuff. So while we're meditating, we're closing our eyes, we're doing that. And while we're just going through our day, and maybe we can't close our eyes, we can mentally neutralize our thoughts by just deciding to do that in the moment, even for a few seconds, 10, 15, 20, 30 seconds, a minute. Even when I used to have a 9-to-5 job, I would take a minute and take a break and go sit in my car, okay, for 5 minutes. Go sit in my car, put the seat back, close my eyes, breathe, and let it go. Get out of my head. Recharge. Let that flow of well-being go from this much to that much. And let it go through your energy field. Feel it, visualize it, fill up your body, and breathe it. You see? Breathe it. Get that connection back. Healthiest thing you can do for yourself. You want messages, you want solutions, you want answers, that's how you do it. And then pay attention. You know, the next bird on the line. Oh, by the way, what kind of birds were some of you guys?
Eagle.
Eagle.
A lot of eagles, of course.
Owl.
Owl. Okay. An owl. What else? Any other birds?
A white owl. White, some kind of big white bird.
Big white bird.
I don't know what.
Big white bird. White's interesting. White is a color of purity. It's very pure energy. Okay. You were very pure energy. You're very pure energy.
Pure energy.
Yeah. That was a confirmation. An owl represents people on the other side.
Should make a note.
Owl represents people on the other side. Owl represents people that have died. Okay, well, there you go. It's on the other side. It's on the other side of the veil. Hawks represent energy messages from the daylight during the day, and owls represent messages from the night because they see at night, right? Owls are the most keen seers at night. So what that represents is like energy on the other side, on the veil. You see, the people that have passed over represents the darkness, not really, but, you know, night and day, right? So you have connections, you have the ability to tap into the other side from loved ones if you work on yourself and make that connection. That's owl energy. Okay. Andrew.
I had the eagle coming in flying and then it turned into an owl.
Yes.
So I had both.
So eagle represents the pinnacle of power, you know, represents the USA. It's the number one, you know, power, you know, dominance. Eagle also is a water bird. You know, it's a master fisherman. It digs fish out of the water. It lives off of, you know, in the oceans, you know. So not only the eagle is versatile, it can do anything. Very powerful, very majestic. Eagles mate for life. Okay? Just a few things about attributes about eagle. Eagles can fly at heights that no other bird can fly at without killing themselves. Okay? They can fly, you know, all the thunderbirds were eagles that flew into the sun. That's what the thunderbird was in mystical, you know, circles. You know, the bird flew, the bird transformed itself. The eagle transformed itself, okay, on purpose by flying into the sun as far as it could until it burned up and transformed into the thunderbird, which became even more powerful. So the eagle that all that you got are in a transformative process that has no fear about flying into the sun, so to speak, to transform yourself to the next level and to come out as the thunderbird, to be resurrected, so to speak. powerful. So we're all kind of going through that. And so if you've got the eagle that transformed into an owl, that means to me that you have a versatile ability to access both worlds very easily and to be able to consciously channel those on the other side of the veil very easily if you want to, and to rely on it, and to use that in your daily life with others, because the eagle is about setting the example. Eagle don't follow nobody. The eagle's the leader. Okay? You don't follow anybody. You are the leader. You're the leader. You set the tone. Okay? And the quicker you realize that you're not a follower, you are teachers, like Abraham says, teachers to the core, to your core. That's what the eagle does. It sets the tone. The only thing the eagle is afraid of, the only bird that the eagle's afraid of, I've said this before. How many of you can remember this? Which bird is the eagle afraid of? Only one bird.
Condor?
You would think.
Blue jay?
The blue jay's fierce.
Yeah.
Something small.
The hummingbird.
Really?
Of all birds, the smallest bird on the planet, the eagle is afraid, fears the hummingbird. You know why?
Right.
Because the hummingbird can pluck its eyes out in a second before it can ever retaliate, because of the speed and the versatility and the power of the hummingbird. The hummingbird, by the way, has no fear. Zero. The hummingbird fears nothing. They're the only bird on the planet that can fly forward and backward and sideways and up and down. 360. Okay? And they're the only bird, the smallest bird, that flies over 2,000 miles at 30 to 40,000 feet altitude every year to migrate across the planet. And they're no bigger than that. They catch the jet stream every year. They fly over 2,000 miles. It's amazing, amazing. And their vibration is the highest vibrational bird that there is. That's why they fly. You can't even see their wings. Just some side stuff there. Okay, what else? Anything else? This is good. This is very good. So birds, we got birds. You got some messages tonight. Does anybody want to share their message by any chance?
I just said you're good.
Did anybody just get a word, just one word, or a sentence, or an object? Well, as time goes on, okay, you're going to get more. You're going to get more information. You're going to get it at different times, especially when you're most least resistant, when you're not expecting it. You're going to get it. Okay, and don't be surprised when people on the other side start knocking on your door. And it won't be your imagination either. And the more you meditate, the more you're going to get used to the energy, and the more you're going to be able to feel yourself more confident, more sure of yourself, more centered. And the thing I noticed about meditating more formally is it causes you to do your own internal meditation during the days more frequently. And I'm not talking about having to sit down and close your eyes and get into none of that. I meditate during the day, all day long at times, with my eyes open as I'm having conversations with people or on the phone. You're able to very quickly shift dimensional shifts very quickly once you get used to it. You can do it very quickly. Like Bashar says, hundreds of thousands of dimensional shifts per second are occurring. Like the wings of a hummingbird. We can shift, 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 shift. And it's amazing. Once you start getting it, sometimes you get so much so quickly you can't decipher it all. The energy just flows like boom, 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 bang, 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 bang. And that's where the breathing comes in. To breathe. Anything else? All right, we went a couple minutes over tonight. Our first class, our first guided meditations class. We will be here every Wednesday in person. Please, if you're in Atlanta, come join us on 7:30. We have a live audience. We're also live on Facebook every week. We would appreciate any donations. The donations are $10. Even if you're online, I provided a link there, the PayPal link. It's instant. It's easy. You click it. You can put your donation out there. What you put out is what you get back. I want everyone to be abundant. And one of the biggest aspects of abundance and learning is learning to give, because what we give, we receive multiplied back. It's just a law. So we put out the energy. We expect to get the energy back from everyone. Times are changing, my friends, and things are happening quickly and deeply. It's been nice being with all of you this week. We plan to be here next week and every week thereafter. Watch on Facebook if you're not on there. If you're not on the Conscious Manifestation group class, get on there, click on there so you can get the alerts when they come up. If you're not on the meetup.com site for people in Atlanta, we've got over 800 people there. Click on that, join that, and you'll get the alerts there, all the alerts that are coming up. Stay in touch with everything. Is there anything else I missed this week? I think that's it. I'm going to post this on Facebook. I'm not going to leave it there forever, so make sure and take note of it. Watch it again, perhaps. Also, please like and share this on Facebook so other people can take advantage of this information if you find it valuable for yourself. And with that, we are going to close out, everyone. I've enjoyed this time together, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.